Did you know that nearly 1 in 3 UK seniors miss out on financial support they're legally entitled to just because they didn't know the law? Even more shocking, thousands of pensioners pay for services they could get completely free, simply because no one told them what their new rights are in 2025. Now ask yourself, could that be you? Imagine this. You're paying hundreds in heating bills this winter, unaware that a brand new government scheme could have wiped most of it off. Or you've skipped an important GP appointment, not realizing you now have the legal right to ask for an in-person visit instead of a phone call. These aren't rare mistakes. They're everyday slip-ups, costing seniors across the UK money, comfort, and health. So here's the real question. Rights have silently changed without you knowing. This isn't about fear, it's about freedom. Because 2025 has brought big changes. From pensions and prescriptions to digital wills and travel benefits. And if you don't keep up, you could be left behind. In this video, I'll break down the 15 essential UK laws every senior must know this year. Some will shock you, others will help you save or even reclaim hundreds. Stick around. What you discover today might just change everything. Number 1. State Pension Triple Lock Update. Let's kick off with the change that affects nearly every senior across the UK, the State Pension Triple Lock Update. If you're relying on your pension to make ends meet, this one's critical. The triple lock is a guarantee that your pension rises every year based on one of 3 measures, whichever is highest: inflation, average earnings growth, or 2.5%, to protect your income from losing value over time. But 2025 has introduced a twist. This year, the government has adjusted how average earnings growth is calculated, removing irregular bonuses and distortions like pandemic wage spikes. On paper, this seems technical. In practice, it means your increase might be lower than expected, even though prices keep rising around you. The new rate, for 2025, the state pension will rise by 6.7%, which sounds decent, but when compared with the actual cost of food, rent, and fuel, it might fall short for many. Even more concerning, some analysts believe this adjustment could be a step toward watering down the triple lock over the next. That's why understanding these changes isn't just useful. It's urgent. So what should you do? Review your pension letter carefully. Don't assume the figure is accurate. Mistakes happen more than you think. Check your national insurance record online to make sure you're getting the full amount you're eligible for. If anything looks off or you're unsure, reach out to Citizens Advice or a pensions advisor. Remember, your pension isn't charity. It's a right you earned over decades. And in 2025, the smartest seniors are the ones asking questions. Number 2. Free prescription eligibility age. Here's a law change that's quietly slipped under the radar, but could hit your wallet hard if you're not paying attention. For decades, turning 60 in the UK meant one clear thing: free prescriptions. But not anymore. In 2025, the government has officially pushed the free prescription age in England from 60 to 66, aligning it with the state pension age. This means 65, you could now be paying £9.90 per item unless you qualify for specific medical exemptions. That might not sound like much, but if you take regular medication for blood pressure, diabetes, or arthritis, those costs add up fast. We're talking hundreds of pounds a year, all because of a quiet legal update. So what can you do about it? First, see if you qualify for a medical exemption certificate. Many conditions still allow you to get your prescriptions free of charge, even if you're under 66. Second, look into a prescription prepayment certificate, PPC. It's like a season ticket for your meds, and it could save you a lot of money if you're regularly at the pharmacy. And here's something many don't realise: the rules differ in Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, where free prescriptions still begin at 60 or even earlier. So if you've recently moved or you're helping care for someone across borders, be sure to double check. This isn't just about medicine. It's about staying ahead, staying informed, and making sure you're not overpaying for something you've always thought was free. And if this change surprised you, drop a comment below and tell us what age you think free prescriptions should start. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more must-know updates like this one. Number 3. TV license fees for over 75s. Think back to the days when turning 75 meant more than just another candle on the cake. It meant freedom, from fees, from forms, from the small things that quietly chip away at a fixed income. One of those perks. A free TV license. But not anymore. Since the BBC scrapped automatic free licenses in 2020, there's been confusion, frustration, and a fair bit of silence about who actually qualifies. And in 2025, the lines have become even blurrier. Here's how it works now. If you're over 75 and receive pension credit, you're still entitled to a free license. But here's the kicker. Nearly 1 million eligible seniors don't claim pension credit, either because they don't know they can or because the application feels like a maze. And without it, you're looking at £169.50 a year just to watch TV legally. This isn't just about money. For many older people, especially those living alone, TV is more than background noise. It's connection, it's company. And the idea of choosing between warmth, medication, or a familiar voice on the screen, that shouldn't be happening in a developed country. So if you or someone you care about is over 75, check the pension credit situation. The license isn't automatic anymore. You have to fight for it, paper and all. But once it's in place, it's yours. You're already paying but shouldn't be. You can actually get that money back. Yes, refunds are possible, but only if you know the system. The only thing worse than a fee is paying one you never needed to in the first place. Number 4. Social care cost cap. Let's talk about one of the biggest concerns for anyone over 65, the cost of social care. Whether it's home visits, nursing homes, or residential support, care isn't cheap. And for years, families across the UK have been draining savings, selling homes, or going into debt just to afford it. But in 2025, something big is finally happening. The long-promised care cost cap is here. Here's what it means. Starting this year, there's now a legal limit to how much you'll have for your personal care over your lifetime. That cap is £86,000. Once you've hit it, the government steps in and covers the rest. Sounds great, right? But there's a twist. That cap only applies to direct care costs, like help with washing, dressing, or eating. It doesn't cover accommodation, food, or utility costs in a care home. So even after you hit £86,000, you could still be on the hook for hundreds every month. And here's another wrinkle. Means testing thresholds have changed too. If your assets are below £20,000, you won't have to contribute at all. If they're between £20,000 and £100,000, you'll pay on a sliding scale. That's more generous than before, but still complex enough to trip people up. So what do you do now? Start by checking your local authority's social care policy. Know what qualifies as, and don't wait until there's a crisis. Plan early, ask questions, and make sure your savings and benefits align with the new structure. The cap may be a game changer, but only if you play the game right. Number 5. Digital will recognition. Wills used to be all about paper, signatures, and sitting in a solicitor's office. But in 2025, the UK has officially stepped into the digital age. And if you haven't updated how your will is written or stored, you might be left behind. For the first time, digital wills and video-recorded wills can now be legally recognized under certain conditions. That means a properly made video, where you explain your wishes and show your identity clearly, could stand in court. Sounds convenient, right? Especially for those who may find traditional legal processes intimidating or physically difficult. But here's where it gets tricky. A video or digital file alone isn't enough. The law requires clear evidence of intent, coerced, and ideally, some kind of digital timestamp or encryption. If there's any doubt about authenticity, the will can still be challenged. And once that happens, your final wishes could get tied up in legal battles you're not around to fight. So what's the smart move? If you're considering a digital or video will, still consult a legal professional. Make sure your message is structured properly, includes all necessary declarations, and is backed up by secure documentation. Also, store it in a safe and accessible place, with clear instructions left behind for your family or executor. And if you already have a traditional will, consider recording a video explanation to support it. It's not a replacement, but it adds clarity and can prevent family disputes when the time comes. 2025 is making it easier to express your wishes, but only if you do it. Your legacy deserves that protection. Number 6. Pension credit expansion. Here's some good news that's actually worth celebrating. Pension credit is expanding in 2025, and that means thousands more seniors could now qualify for extra financial support they didn't know they were entitled to. For those unfamiliar, pension credit is a top-up benefit for people on lower incomes. It helps bridge the gap between your actual income and the minimum the government believes you need to live on. And the best part? It opens the door to a host of other benefits too, like free TV licenses, cold weather payments, and even help with council tax and dental care. In 2025, the government has expanded both the income thresholds and the eligible circumstances. This includes seniors who are living with adult children, those providing unpaid care, or people with modest savings who were previously excluded. The aim is to ensure fewer pensioners are left behind. But here's the frustrating part. Up to 850,000 eligible households still aren't claiming it. And most say it's because they either didn't think they qualified or they found the process too confusing. Don't let that be you. Applying for pension credit can now be done online, by phone, or even through certain local support services. It's quicker than it used to be, and the application form has been simplified. Even if you've been turned down before, check again. The criteria have changed. A few minutes today could mean an extra £3,000 a year, or more, flowing into your household budget. When you've worked your whole life, you deserve a retirement that's lived with dignity, not stress. And pension credit, it's one of the most powerful tools to help make that happen. 7. Cold weather payments. Threshold change. When the temperature drops, so does your comfort, especially if you're watching every penny. That's why cold weather payments have long been a lifeline for low-income pensioners during harsh UK winters. But in 2025, the rules around how and when you qualify have changed. Previously, the system was simple. If the temperature in your area dropped below 0 degrees Celsius for 7 consecutive days, you'd automatically receive £25 for each week of cold weather. No applications, no forms, just a direct boost to help with heating costs. But in 2025, the thresholds and regions have been re-evaluated. Due to changing climate patterns and government budget reshuffles, some areas that used to trigger payments frequently have now been reclassified as lower-risk zones. That means fewer automatic payouts, even if it still feels bitterly cold. And here's the kicker. Eligibility now also depends more heavily on your benefit status. If you receive pension credit, you're likely still covered. But if your income falls just above the line, you might miss out, even if your needs haven't changed. What can you do? First, don't assume anything. Check your postcode and benefit status online, preferably before winter hits. Second, consider applying for the warm home discount or speaking to your energy provider about hardship funds. These are separate programs that may help even if cold weather payments don't kick in. Winter shouldn't be a time of financial fear. But in 2025, staying warm means staying informed. Number 8. Energy bill support schemes. Let's be honest, Energy bills in the UK have become one of the biggest stress points, and with prices still unstable, 2025 has brought in a new wave of support schemes designed to ease the burden. But here's the catch: many of these aren't automatic. You have to know they exist and take action. The government has introduced several updated and expanded support options this year, including a revamped energy bills support grant specifically tailored for older adults and vulnerable households. This includes one-off payments, monthly subsidies, and partnerships with major energy suppliers to offer discounted tariffs for qualifying seniors. There's also an updated version of the Warm Home Discount, now offering up to £170 off your bill, automatically applied to accounts that meet the new eligibility criteria. But again, it used to be. The system now uses a digital matching tool based on income and energy usage, and some pensioners might fall through the cracks without realizing it. If you receive pension credit, you'll likely get support without lifting a finger. But if you're just over the threshold, you need to check your eligibility manually. Many households are missing out on hundreds per year simply because they didn't go through the steps. Don't forget, local councils are also receiving additional funding in 2025 to support winter resilience for seniors. That might mean vouchers, heating grants, or help with energy-saving appliances. Each area is different, so it pays to make a quick call. Help is out there. But in 2025, you have to reach for it. Number 9. Inheritance tax thresholds. Inheritance tax, it's one of those topics most people would rather not think about. In 2025, ignoring it could mean leaving your family with a hefty, unexpected bill. And if you haven't reviewed your plans recently, the rules might have already shifted under your feet. Currently, if your estate is worth more than £325,000, anything above that may be taxed at 40%. That threshold hasn't changed for years. But here's what has. Property values have continued to climb, and more modest homes are now pushing everyday families into the tax bracket, especially in the south of England. Thankfully, there's a silver lining. If you leave your home to a direct descendant, like a child or grandchild, you could benefit from the residence nil rate band, which adds an extra £175,000 to your threshold. That bumps the total to £500,000 or £1 million for couples. But here's where it gets tricky. Complex family structures, gifts given in the last 7 years, and second properties can all reduce. And in 2025, HMRC is tightening enforcement and doing more digital audits. That means mistakes or vague records could lead to delays or unexpected tax bills. What can you do? It's simple. Review your will and estate plan now. Make sure it reflects current thresholds. Double-check how your property is owned, and consider professional advice if you have a complex situation. This isn't just about money. It's about peace of mind. Taking the time today means you leave behind clarity, not confusion, for the people you care about most. Number 10. Blue Badge Parking Access Rules. For many older adults, a blue badge isn't just a sticker, it's a gateway to independence. It means getting closer parking at the shops, easier access to appointments, and less physical strain on daily errands. But in 2025, the rules around who can use your badge have changed, and not everyone's been told. First, let's start with eligibility. The Blue Badge scheme has expanded its criteria slightly this year to include more hidden disabilities and fluctuating conditions like arthritis or early-stage dementia. That's a big win for those whose conditions make mobility unpredictable, but it also means applications may involve more detailed assessments or medical input. Next, let's talk geography. While the Blue Badge is a national scheme, each local council enforces the rules slightly differently, especially when it comes to where you can park. Some areas have cracked down on free parking in busy zones, while others badge readers to catch misuse. If you're travelling across boroughs or into Wales or Scotland, it's essential to double-check the local policies. Also new in 2025, renewal reminders are no longer guaranteed by post. If your badge expires, it's your responsibility to reapply. Driving with an expired badge can lead to fines, and even points on your license in some cases. To stay protected, set a reminder for your renewal. Keep your documentation updated, and take 5 minutes to learn the parking rules of any area you're visiting. It's a small step that could save you stress, penalties, and long walks you shouldn't have to take. The blue badge system still works, but in 2025, you need to work it smart. Number 11. Fraud protection in digital banking. Online scams targeting older people are rising at an alarming rate. In 2025, seniors are one of the most targeted groups for digital banking fraud, and scammers are getting smarter, faster, and harder to trace. But this year, the law has finally started catching up. The UK government has introduced new regulations that require banks to reimburse fraud victims, but only under specific conditions. If you've been tricked into transferring money through a scam but acted reasonably and reported it quickly, the bank may now be legally obligated to refund you. That's a huge shift in power, from the scammers back to the consumer. But here's the fine print. These protections only apply if you follow the proper procedures. That means confirming suspicious activity immediately, avoiding ignored fraud warnings on your banking app, and not sharing security codes with anyone, even someone claiming to be from your bank. Another update in 2025. Banks are now required to share real-time fraud alerts across institutions, scams from spreading as quickly. And most major banks are rolling out voice recognition and biometric ID options to make unauthorized access even harder. Still, the most powerful protection is knowledge. Be cautious with phone calls, texts, or emails that ask for any personal information, no matter how official they sound. And if something feels off, it probably is. Remember, fraudsters don't target you because you're careless. They target you because you're trusting. And that's why the new laws are on your side, but only if you know how to use them. Number 12. Housing benefit for pensioners. Housing is more than just shelter, it's peace of mind. But as rent prices continue to climb in many parts of the UK, more pensioners are feeling the pinch. 2025 has brought important updates to housing benefit rules specifically for seniors, and they could make a real difference. The biggest change? An increase in the eligible income threshold. This means more people who were previously just over the limit can now qualify for help. Whether you rent privately or through a housing association, if you're on a low or moderate fixed income, you could now be entitled to monthly support toward your rent. The government has also made the process a bit more accessible. If you're over the state pension age and not receiving universal credit, you can apply directly through your local council. And for those already on pension credit, you may now qualify for an automatic assessment, meaning no extra forms, no back and forth. One key point to remember, even if you've applied before and were turned down, check again. The 2025 income thresholds and rent ceilings are regionally adjusted, so what wasn't available last year might now be within reach, especially in high rent areas. This year's budget has allocated more funding to local discretionary housing payments. So if you're facing rent arrears or a sudden change in circumstances, your local authority might be able to step in temporarily, even if you don't meet every criteria on paper. Housing benefit isn't just a number on a form. It's the difference between financial struggle and breathing room. And in 2025, the safety net is a little wider, if you know where to look. Number 13. Travel pass rules. For many older adults, a free or discounted travel pass isn't just about saving money. It's about freedom. It means visiting family, going to appointments, or simply getting out of the house without worrying about the cost. But in 2025, the rules around senior travel passes have changed in ways you need to know. Let's start. In England, the older person's bus pass still kicks in at state pension age. Now 66. That's unchanged. But what has changed is when and where you can use it. Many local councils have revised the times during which passes are valid, especially in busy city areas. For example, some routes no longer accept travel passes during weekday morning rush hours, even if you're eligible. Meanwhile, in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, seniors continue to benefit from more generous schemes. In some regions, you can start using your pass from age 60 and even travel on trains for free or at a reduced rate. But again, each area is different, and cross-border travel may not be covered. Also new for 2025, some councils are moving toward digital travel passes linked to mobile apps or smart cards. While this is great for convenience, it's created confusion for those used to physical cards. If you haven't updated your travel card or registered, you could find yourself blocked from boarding without warning. To stay ahead, check your local council's website, confirm the rules for your area, and make sure your card or app is active and current. Travel should be empowering, not stressful. And knowing the new rules can help keep you moving. Number 14. GP access and remote healthcare rights. If the last few years have taught us anything, it's that access to healthcare isn't just important, it's essential. But for many seniors, booking a GP appointment has become a frustrating maze of phone queues, online forms, and being told, "We'll call you back." In 2025, however, the UK has introduced new legal rights around GP access, and they're a game changer, if you know what they are. One of the most important, you now have the legal right to request a face-to-face appointment with your GP, regardless of whether the practice prefers phone or video consultations. That means no more being forced into digital-only appointments if you're not comfortable with them, or if your condition genuinely needs in-person care. Remote services aren't going away, of course. In fact, they've been expanded with new requirements for secure, easy-to-use platforms and clearer communication. But the big shift in 2025 is about putting the choice back in your hands. You decide what works best for your health, not the admin behind the desk. Another important change, GP practices must now publish clear data about waiting times and appointment availability. This transparency is meant to help patients make informed decisions and hold clinics accountable if they're falling short. And for care homes or housebound seniors, mobile GP services are being expanded, dedicated to reaching those who can't easily travel. Bottom line, 2025 puts more power in the hands of patients. So whether you prefer a screen or a seat across the desk, that decision is yours to make. And if your surgery says otherwise, you now have the law on your side. Number 15. Power of attorney and decision-making rights. It's something no one likes to think about. What happens if you can't make decisions for yourself? But in 2025, the laws around power of attorney, POA, have undergone important changes that every senior and their family should understand. A power of attorney allows someone you trust to make decisions if you're ever unable to do so, whether due to illness, injury, or mental incapacity. In 2025, the UK has streamlined the process to make it faster, safer, and more accessible. That means no more months-long delays just to register your POA. What's new? First, there's a digital registration system now in place through the Office of the Public Guardian. It's designed to reduce paperwork and speed up approvals. Second, the process now includes enhanced fraud protection, with more checks to prevent abuse or coercion. But here's the key point. You still need to act early. You can only set up a power of attorney while you still have mental capacity. Once that's gone, it's too late, and your family may be forced to go through the courts to gain control, which is costly and emotionally draining. You can choose between a health and welfare POA, which covers medical and care decisions, and a property and financial POA, which covers money and assets. Many people set up both to be fully protected. Having these legal safeguards in place isn't about expecting the worst. It's about making sure your wishes are respected, no matter what. And in 2025, With the new laws in place, it's never been easier, or more important, to get it done. And now we want to hear from you. Which of these laws surprised you the most, or is affecting your life right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read everyone. If you found this helpful, check out our previous video packed with more vital updates every UK senior should know. We bring you accurate, easy-to-understand content. Your support means everything, so please subscribe to the channel. It's just one click, and it helps us keep doing what we do best.